It's gonna get wicked.
Alrighty then, brother, we are live. This is the Hectic Podcast, episode 3, because the last one we filmed, the audio didn't even work. That's fantastic. We've been having these issues a lot lately, and it's really getting tiring.
Someone's going to tell you to give up. Give up, damn it.
We've been getting told that since the very first podcast bite we posted of our own podcast.
Yeah, it's okay though. People can bite it. I don't know if is that camera even on?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just swapping. A red light just means it's either filming or not filming.
Okay.
I'm Brooke Roney, your host, my co-host, James B. Singer. Thank you again for channeling in. This one will be live probably this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I need to post another one. So this one will probably be live within the next couple of days. So maybe these Today in Histories will make a little more sense than normal.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because I notice the ones that I'm posting, we filmed a while ago.
Oh, so people,
are probably like, Today in History, you guys are way off. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Just
When we
listen to
talked
the full
about it.
conversation.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's the thing is people listen to the bite
Yeah.
and then they bite.
And then they bite.
They like jump in. For example, the dogs. That's my opinion.
That's all there is to it. It's
And you
your
got to have a
opinion.
hierarchy with your dog.
That you do.
If your dog's a little wimpy dog, you can probably let it sleep in
Dude,
your bed.
I still haven't met your dog. And it's my fault. I know.
It is
I
your
know that's
fault,
what you're going
but-
to say, but it's fine.
See, she's not going to be a wimpy dog. She's going to be a big dog. So she's going to want to be in charge. So we got to keep her in check.
There was a photo that you posted on your story, I think it was over the weekend, where she did look just jet black. Like
Oh,
just
she's-
absorbs light.
There is no color in her
It's
fur.
wild.
None. Like, I'm telling you, she is jet black. At night, I mean, you can see her because she has the cone on her head now. But without that thing, you wouldn't be able to see her.
Yeah, just no clue.
Just no color.
Are her ears healing fine?
Yeah.
Is it
she actually
bothering
gets
her
the-
at all?
No, she gets the cone off on Thursday, so.
Still hella drugged up?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
what
pretty
what,
drugged.
what milligram are those?
They're like 25 milligrams of tramadol. That's what she's
Yeah,
taking.
hook it up.
She's almost gone. It's almost out, I mean. So, yeah. But yeah, people listen to the whole thing before you start judging. For example, some guy told me that Christopher Columbus is not Italian and that he's Portuguese, which is not true. He's definitely Italian.
Yep. He trained or practiced under.
Yeah, he lived in Portugal for a while, which is where I made a mistake saying that, he went to the King of Portugal, which I think he might have, but it was the Queen of Spain that finally funded him.
Okay.
So he did train in Portugal to learn to navigate and do all of that.
Okay.
But he was born in Genoa, Italy.
Oh, okay.
And Italians love like that little claim to fame.
Yeah.
They love having everybody though,
Yeah.
They got Leonardo da Vinci, Galileo Galilei, they got all the people.
Yeah. And all the really shitty nice cars.
Obviously they got down to shitty nice cars.
Yeah. The ones that are incredibly unreliable.
Yeah. But
Incredible cars, but incredibly unreliable.
the one I was driving out there was pretty nice, and it was just
What did you...
it was a DR. Is what they call it?
DR?
DR.
Did it have a little dragon looking thing?
No,
Oh.
I don't think so. Just DR. It was the F-35 model. It was
F-35
pretty good.
DR. So
Yeah.
it's a fighter jet car.
It was definitely not. It's like kind of like it's a bigger it's like a bigger Fiat.
That's funny.
But
I
it was
was
pretty good.
I don't know if you saw that bite I posted with me and Andy on the podcast
Which one?
where I asked him if he knows what Fiat is.
No.
I was like, do you know what I mean by Fiat? He's like, no. Is it a car? I thought it was a car. Yeah, it's a car, but it's not what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm talking about money here.
Yeah. Backed by a commodity.
Backed by a commodity. Yeah.
Switched away from the gold standard many years ago. But-
What was the one that we went over? So our last episode that didn't record any sound. What was our Today in History that we went over? It was a cool one, I thought. I guess I could just look at our note here and tell you.
Yeah, I've not seen it in the note.
You didn't even put the note in here, bro? Oh, no. Oh, did you ran over these notes again?
I did, but I didn't delete anything, so I don't know what got removed.
Teapot Dome Scandal.
Let me look. We can figure out when that was. What was the today in history on? Oh, I remember we did some different ones because we couldn't find anything we really liked. Right. It was like the 14th. Oh, Thomas Edison.
Oh, the lights. Yeah, him. So he was successful in the very first incandescent light.
Yeah, it ran for 13
Electrical
hours.
light.
Yeah, a lamp is what they called it at the time. But then it was Sir Humphrey Davies.
Yes. Humphrey Davies, right?
That was
or
actually
Davy
the first
Humphreys.
Sir.
Something like that. Was the actual first one, but his light wasn't necessarily a true light bulb because he didn't encapsulate it in glass.
Sir Davy Humphrey.
It was what was it? It was a string
It was
of
2 batteries connected with a piece of like charcoal or carbon.
charcoal. Yeah, and got it to light.
Yeah, he got it to light.
Essentially.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's what we went over last time. Today, I mean, we can just jump right into today in history.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I wanted to talk about one comment on one of the bites that we got before.
Okay.
So I had talked about one of our today in histories. I did this one with Andy, which he didn't add a whole lot to the piece, but
a whole mass
I was talking about it. So the last cornerstone was laid, and John Adams moved into the White House, and that was in 1800. Okay, that day was October 13th, but it was back in 1800. So I say that, right, and then I give more background on like who the architect was or who laid out the plans for the area. I gave Washington credit for choosing the area that it was built on,
Which he did, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He chose the area, but he also had some hand in designing the area. I didn't mention any of that, but I'm not saying it didn't happen.
Right.
I was just mentioning the architect. Some random dude gets on there and leaves a comment that's like a paragraph and a half long that's trying to prove me wrong on all these points. And I'm like, dude, like nothing I said is false. Everything I said was legit. And I went in on one of my other accounts and commented back, and I was like, what are you trying to prove here? Why? And I said, like, why are you trolling?
Yeah.
Because none of it had any.
Here's the thing. We're just talking about things in history, about different things that are happening today. Mm-hmm. And we do a little research on it, not a ton. And we also we're not going to sit here and dive in and give you a full history lesson.
Because it's not that fun.
No. But what is fun is to spark your interest. And you know what? If you go out there and you do a whole history lesson and you dive deep in and you want to throw all the history in there and teach, that's fine. But to come attacking, it's like, come on, bruh.
Yeah. You probably hadn't even thought about that entire situation until we brought it up. So you're welcome.
Yep, you're welcome.
Let's jump into today's, though. Yes. We've got 3 that we want to run over.
But
yeah, we probably read the hate too much.
Yeah.
Shouldn't
Don't
even
read the comments.
give it any attention.
Cool. So, couple cool ones. One of these is pretty interesting. It's kind of the main one.
And today's the 26th?
The 25th.
25th, sorry.
So, October 25th, 1929, so almost 100 years ago, there was a scandal. So, this was the biggest scandal in American politics before Watergate.
Okay.
It was called the Teapot Dome Scandal. Basically, the Secretary of the Interior for President Warren G. Harding.
Yeah.
The Secretary of the Interior's name was Albert B. Fall. He served there, but basically, Secretary of Interior, Albert B. Fall, served under Warren Harding.
Okay.
And October 25th, 1929, he was found guilty of accepting a bribe while in office. So he was the first person in a presidential cabinet to be convicted of a crime.
And to be proven of...
Yeah, convicted. Essentially, he was just getting bribes.
Nice.
Yeah, he
taking all that money.
Yeah, at first they thought it was just $100,000.
Yeah.
Interest-free loan.
And this is
$100,000 at that time.
100 years ago?
Almost 100 years ago.
At that time is worth way more.
Yeah, a ton. But they also dug in a little bit more and found he also got like another $300,000.
Okay.
And what he was doing is he was giving favorable lease terms and just like leasing out oil reserves, the country's oil reserves,
Yeah.
to petroleum companies without really
so
doing.
he was making real money.
Oh, he's leasing it out like the countries, just leasing it to like Sinclair, for example, was one of the guys. That paid him like $300,000 to get the rights to the oil reserve.
Yeah, so these bribes weren't like person to person. These bribes were like country to person.
No. Like they were oil company paying the government employee that gets to decide which oil company uses the country's resources.
Okay, yeah, so big conglomerate company paying
so
individual.
Basically, so a huge oil company pays the government employee.
Yeah.
That's really what he is.
To get rights to this.
To get in front of the line to get the oil reserve.
Nice.
Which is what happens today.
It's just people don't get convicted.
They just don't get caught. And it probably happened before that, but they just hadn't got caught.
Boom.
Here's the craziest part, though. He was convicted, right?
Okay.
So he was sentenced and everything, but no one was ever sentenced for giving the bribe.
Really?
No.
Damn.
So that's kind of interesting that they're like, oh, it's okay. Like, keep giving us bribes. We'll just be better at not getting caught.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
that's exactly how it works.
Kind of interesting.
And we're seeing that in the government today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and even then, it jumps to another piece that we're going to talk about today in history. Mm-hmm. Pablo Picasso's birthday is today.
Boom.
So October 25th.
Okay.
But what's crazy that kind of ties to that is all of the people throwing soup and mashed potatoes and stuff on art right now.
Yeah.
Have you not seen a ton of it?
I haven't seen any. I honestly just don't pay attention. I'm so enveloped in what I do.
I just feel like it pops up on every feed ever.
Really?
But the first one was these girls threw soup or mashed potatoes or something on a Van Gogh painting, and then took out super glue from their bras and put it on their hand and then super glued themselves to the wall. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's kind of ridiculous too. Just close down and close the restrooms.
What do you mean?
If they super glued themselves to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
just lock them
leave
in.
them there.
Yeah, leave them.
Yeah, what are they going to do?
Okay, do what you guys want.
You got to rip your hand off.
Well, I saw this on, I follow some news channel on Instagram, and they posted one today. A bunch of these, what do you call it? Climate change activists, right? Went into the Porsche Museum and had glued themselves to the floor.
That's the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's that.
It's the same group of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, so what they did is they actually just shut the thing down, locked all the bathrooms, and walked away. Go Porsche. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
that's literally what you got to do.
Yeah.
But
don't deal with these people.
So it's been the Van Gogh. There was another painting that I'm trying to remember what it was. And they're all protesting oil. So they're protesting oil companies, which is how it ties back to the Teapot Dome scandal.
Right.
Because now they're protesting those same oil companies that were bribing politicians.
Nice.
Anyways, they also did the wax museum. They got King Charles
or pie.
Yeah, with cream pie
in his face.
Yeah, and then they super glued themselves to the floor. It's like,
okay, why would you super glue yourself to the floor though?
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes zero sense because it's not like you can't get up, and it's not like somebody can't tear you off.
No, exactly. It's just gonna hurt you.
Yeah, there's zero.
What are you gonna do?
Just sit there and don't leave then.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna drag you out, but they're gonna drag you out with the super glue.
Yeah, might as well hold on to your clothes. And
at least now they're attacking wax figurines of political people and Porsche. But before, when they're attacking art, it doesn't make any sense. What did Van Gogh ever do to you? What did Van Gogh ever do to the oil and the gas markets?
It makes zero sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
They're just doing it because it's a very valuable thing.
But we're talking about it.
Yeah, there you go. It's working.
I guess we're talking about it. Maybe it's working. Yeah. Super crazy.
Should we jump into the third one?
Yeah. Take it away.
Well, Native Americans attack Transcontinental Railroad survey crew in Utah. So this was back in 1853. So this was a long time ago, down by Sevier Lake, which we know very well because the Stradman, one of the biggest YouTubers in the States, lives here in Utah. A big car guy.
huge car
Everybody
guy.
knows who the Stradman is. He goes out there all the time to race his cars, but he'll never say what lake it is.
Yeah, and we probably are just exposing his secrets here, but it's it's
Whoops.
the severe lake bed.
Yeah, and that's down south. It's all dried up now.
Yeah.
But at the time, Captain John W. Gunnison and his party of 37 soldiers were on the railroad surveying near Severe Lake. And how many men were killed? About 7. Gunnison and 7 other men were killed during this.
Which is crazy. So
this
he
attack.
died.
Yeah. Gunnison died from an attack on the Trans.
Which there's actually a town down in that area named Gunnison, so probably named after him.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle.
Really wild.
I've been wanting to go out there.
To the dry lake bag?
Yeah.
Should we take your Tesla out there?
Tessie? Yeah. I mean, is there a charger near there? There's got to be, right?
Maybe in Beaver.
Because it's a ways off the freeway.
Is there one in Beaver?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we can
Big
go there.
one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could probably go from Beaver out there, get there with like 70% battery left.
Yeah, you're just going to be trashing your car.
It's a car.
It's an expensive car.
It is. It'll still sell.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, dude, they hold their value so well. Just surprising.
It's insane.
I don't know why. Because they just get worse.
What's also funny to me is like at first, like I feel that Elon wanted to produce a car that was affordable, an electric car that was affordable.
Yeah.
So we had the Model 3.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's like $70,000 now.
Dude, I paid $68,000 for mine. More than that, $68,500.
So what happened there? You know?
Well,
I
dude-
guess it just is that expensive to manufacture.
Yeah.
them.
Well, Jordan and I went to lunch the other day, and he has his Model Y Performance, which is a 2021, I think,
Right.
2020, something like that. I was asking him, he's like, it's funny that we own the same car, but I paid $10,000 less for mine. I'm like, dude, the Y right now is worth more than the E, or the 3,
Yeah.
sorry, right? But
Yeah.
I paid almost $10,000 more for my 3 than he did for his Y.
That's insane.
That's nuts.
It's
He
like-
paid like 58 for his, and his is the performance loaded. He even got the upgraded interior white seats.
Yeah. And it's appreciated. It's worth
it's
more
appreciated.
now than it was when he
Oh,
bought
he could
it,
sell his for more than he purchased it, and he's driven it for 2-3 years.
which is insane.
Yeah, that's not right.
No, it's
It
crazy.
makes no sense.
It's crazy.
The only car you could
But-
do that with before was a G-Wagon or a Toyota Tacoma.
Well, there's other cars you could do it with.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
where you could buy it and literally flip it for more than you bought it. Like you can flip cars, shitty ones.
Well, the Land Rovers.
The shittiest car on the road, though.
No, we're talking like the old.
Oh, the Defenders?
No.
I mean, any old car is going to go for more. They they become collector edition.
Oh no, the Land Cruiser,
Land Cruiser.
the Toyota Land Cruiser. Those things.
Are they worth a lot now?
Yeah, they.
because they don't make them anymore.
appreciate. Yeah,
But they don't make the Land Cruiser
discontinued.
anymore, right?
Well, like the OG ones, those were the ones you would want.
Yeah. So, Mackenzie and I were talking the other day, and we didn't really even get into this subject at all, but I thought it was an interesting one, and I kind of wanted to talk it through. She was saying, like, before I started dating you, like, everything kind of went my way, and I was laughing.
Now
And
she's
like,
unlucky.
and it's your fault I'm not, because you're just not good luck. I'm like, fair enough. But because of that, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I wondered if there were any studies like trying to prove the idea that luck exists.
I think I've heard something about that before.
I had too, and I thought it would be an interesting one because everybody says, "Oh, you're so lucky," or like, "Oh, I wish I was that lucky."
Yeah,
Is-
that's where it gets interesting though.
Do you side there, or what do you like?
So if I remember, and just kind of what I think is that this is my opinion. People who are considered lucky are usually the ones that are out there working
Very hard.
harder.
And it tends to be the ones that you never see working, right? It's the ones that have a bunch of success now, but you didn't see the grind working up to
Right.
that.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Also, though,
Okay.
if you consider yourself lucky and you think you're lucky, don't you think that you'd put forth more effort because you think and you know that you're lucky? So the more effort you put in, the more you're going to get out, which means that you're henceforth you're just putting forth more effort.
Yeah.
So you are working harder.
Yeah. I look
You're
at
just stacking the deck in your favor.
All of this is something there is a side of this has been scientifically proven, that's placebo effect.
Yeah.
So if you want to tie it back to that, it's like, if you believe you're lucky, you're giving yourself a faux placebo that may be working subconsciously to help you.
Right. So you're putting forth better effort.
Yeah.
Subconsciously.
Well, better effort and a better attitude.
Yeah.
Right. If you're more positive, chances are situations around you are going to be more positive.
You might not want to show this episode to Ken's.
Oh no, this is nothing against her. I just
because maybe she just isn't putting forth as much positive effort as she was before.
No,
I'm joking.
but the other side is like, I almost feel unlucky.
Well, you got to start feeling lucky.
I know.
Are you feeling lucky, punk?
I mean, lately I've been feeling pretty lucky. But
No.
I just thought that was weird. But I was curious to see, did you look up any of those to see if...
So there was one,
Okay.
a Cornell economist studies luck and says the more you acknowledge good fortune, the better off you are.
And that's just because of a good attitude, I guess.
Right. And I think luck is when preparation precedes timing in a lot of places, right? So if you consider yourself lucky, you're going to prepare better, you're going to put forth effort better, you're going to be out there when things are happening. So I think there's a lot to do with that. But
I like the very first line of this study. It says, finding money on the street may seem like a lucky break, but it might be more accurate to thank yourself.
for being there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the other side, right? It's like you were there and you were looking.
Yeah.
The other side is like, how many people passed that money on the street and never saw it?
I've never found money on the street that I wasn't looking for.
There you go. Never found money on the street I wasn't looking for. Kind of funny. Researchers across various disciplines have attempted to decode whether there's an actual measurable aspect to what we understand as luck. Many of these studies have found that what a person might perceive as luck has more to do with psychology than probability. Which I agree too. That's kind of the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
You know?
There's definitely a lot to that. I hate to get into the secret thing because it's just like too much.
It's too much. How they depict it is too much because they give the universe an entity rather than just...
The universe just is.
Yeah, but they're giving it kind of like a persona.
Yeah.
Which seemed a little odd to me.
As if like, ooh, you gotta... Which,
But
you
that's
take
what-
that back and that's what a lot of people see as God, right?
Well, religion does that.
Religion
right?
gives you to receive X blessing, fulfill X commandment.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of truth to.
Mm-hmm.
And it appears that maybe there's a lot of truth to that with just luck. Karma.
Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of power in that, but I think there's a lot of power in yourself to bring about things that you want to happen. That's like the idea of positivity.
100%. 100%.
I don't know.
Which it's interesting because if you think, now that I'm actually thinking about it,
Mm-hmm.
almost every culture, every religion has some form of this luck, karma, blessings.
Every yeah.
You know,
Everybody has a
all
word
of
for
this,
it.
like the yin and the yang, it all comes back around to you. Everything is one.
Yeah. I got into
If
this.
every culture does it,
Yeah.
there's something to it.
I got into this conversation with my brother-in-law and sister, Trina. And so Trina and Nate. And we started getting into the idea of like affirmations. And there was a big argument at first. It was a very odd conversation at first, but there was part of the argument was like, why would I say an affirmation that isn't true? Because part of that might be me worsening my own situation, believing that, like trying to believe it's true and me not doing anything about it. But I think in turn, when you do that, subconsciously you start doing small things about it. Am I making any sense here?
No, I know what you're saying. I think that's where a lot of the pitfall lies is when people, like, for example, if I just want to look in the mirror every day and say, I have $1 million in my pocket. I have $1 million in my pocket. I have $1 million in my pocket.
You don't.
I don't.
Right.
And if I
you
sit
don't.
there in the mirror and just say that over and over, unless I stream it on Twitch and people start paying me for it,
Right.
that's an idea. Somebody do that.
Right.
You're not going to have that. You have to have the action too.
Yeah. This has been so James and I both grew up Mormon and still practicing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not really practicing, still hold a lot of the same beliefs. But what was really hard for me growing up, and I grew up in a very different situation, I guess. But what was hard for me growing up was people would say, "Oh, you lost your backpack. Go say a prayer that you'll find it."
Yeah.
Things like that for me were really, really hard to swallow as a kid because it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Because I'm asking for something that I am more than capable of doing myself.
Right. Sometimes you need a little help though.
You
from the universe.
Right. Whatever it is, right? I mean, in our case, it's God, Christ, whatever. But I think more of what's coming from that prayer is your ability to put forth effort in what you're asking for. It's like...
Right. And that's the principle of faith, just in general, is faith isn't just a hope. It's a hope and an action. And that's what, that's the equivalent of faith.
Right.
So if we're looking at luck, it's when preparation and timing meet.
Yeah.
That there's still preparation and you still have to be in the right place at the right time. So all of these luck, blessings, all these things that happen do require some effort on your part.
They do. And I think part of the plus about prayer and affirmation and things of that nature, get your mind into a place that allows you to take action on it. So it's kind of like you're working on a problem at work. And if you kind of keep your attention in two different places, it's going to take you forever to get done.
Yeah.
If you encompass yourself in it, you can drop into it. The wording's funny, but like a flow state, right? That gets you through, that keeps your interest, your focus on a single task.
Yeah.
And at the end, you almost always come out with a positive.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
And that ties back to meditation, which is another form of this religious spiritual practice.
Yeah.
I think there's obviously something there.
100%. And I think for the sake of most people, the point is to not avoid what it is you need to do to get to where you want to go.
Yeah. And if you're starting to feel unlucky, think back to what you were doing before.
Exactly.
Again.
So does luck exist?
Luck does exist.
It has more to do with...
Your effort? I don't know.
It has more to do with, more to do with psychology than probability.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would say.
Yeah. It's not so much a
It's
probability.
not probable that it's happening. It's psychologically happening.
I mean, sometimes when I'm playing Settlers of Catan and I just say roll a 7 to somebody else and they roll a 7.
I've never played that game in my life.
Oh, you should play.
Should I?
It's fun.
Settlers of Catan.
Yeah. That might be the widest thing I've ever said, but, you know.
Oh, for real, board games.
If Braxton ever watches this, he's going to give me hell for it, but that's all right.
Is he? Dude, I can't stand board games, honestly. I have such a hard time just sitting down and playing.
You have a short attention span, though, I think.
I probably do.
Yeah.
It's no bueno. It's no bueno. What do you got going on the next month? Are you doing anything? Do you have anything planned? Any trips?
No trips planned.
You were supposed to come to Japan.
No, I was never supposed to come to Japan. You guys scheduled that with like 3 weeks' notice while I was out of country already.
We had decided that day and let you know.
With 3 weeks' notice?
I know.
While I was already out of country.
You told me about Italy.
No. 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months prior.
I know. I should have gone.
You should have.
Mackenzie and I were talking about it, and we were like, shoot, we really should have gone on that trip.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It would have been a blast.
Can't miss work, but here he is missing work for Japan. He just doesn't want to hang out with me.
That's not true.
That's the truth.
Dude,
it's the truth.
Japan, you are missing out though, because we got a Delta One seat, so you know.
I wouldn't have been able to afford that anyways.
No, friggin' Jordan used his status to get it. Did the seats alone? Okay, wild. So the seats alone, we looked at pricing, were anywhere between $25,000 and $30,000 for Delta One first class over to Japan, out of San Diego, I believe. Or no, Seattle. Wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was like, dang, dude, that's a lot of money.
You guys gonna snowboard while you're out there?
It's not snowing yet, is it?
I mean, it's snowing here. I don't know.
Mount Fuji or something? Isn't that where it is? Mount Fuji? I shouldn't be speaking on this stuff that I don't know. I'll just get torn apart.
I assume you can probably. Officially starts in December, so you won't make it.
It's funny that they have like very, very similar seasons to us. Almost identical.
Well, I think the latitude is almost identical.
Is it? We're just one day ahead over there, right? Other side of the planet.
Yeah, so latitude of Japan, looks like they're 36 degrees. And if we go to the latitude of Utah, we are 39 degrees. So we're just a little bit more north. But also, Japan's long, so... yeah. Interesting, actually.
I kind of wanted to segue into this. So, after a few moments, the pilot comes on the overhead. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at our cruising altitude of 36,000 feet. So we'll be cruising at 36,000 feet the whole way over there. Do you know how cold it is up there? I always thought, even during the summer, it would be, it's like 10, 20 degrees.
No.
Dude, it's...
Well, the little thing on Delta will tell you what the temperature is outside.
Will it?
If you go to the flight tracker,
It'll
tell you outside temperature.
Really?
I've seen it get down to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Yeah. I'm going to look up the temperature. Well, especially during this time of the year, almost winter time.
This is saying negative 40 to negative 70 degrees.
Yeah. That's wild that you have something flying with spinning turbines that don't just freeze up, especially when you're cruising at 500 to 700 miles per hour.
It's probably a lot of how like planes don't just burn up from the friction is because of the temperature. Well, no, does that even... Yeah, because
they're not going fast enough for that, really.
And the air is so thin too that there's a lot of friction.
Yeah, and you'd have to break through the atmosphere to really start to burst into flames. And at that point, you're probably traveling at 20,000 miles per hour. But to be going, let's just say you're going 500 miles per hour, and it's negative 70 degrees outside, and you have turbines spinning. I don't understand how those don't just freeze.
Yeah.
Like, how do the components stay? I guess they stay hot because of the internal combustion engine.
Yeah.
So it stays warm. I guess friction's a big piece, but...
Well, for example, anytime you go into the mountains this last weekend, went up. And
I saw some of those stories you posted.
It got cold. Well, I hiked up just in like a thin long sleeve shirt. Hiked all the way up, like, I don't know, maybe 2 miles, 2,000 feet of elevation gain. And it was cold, but I didn't realize it was cold because I was moving.
Yeah.
I sat there, froze. Put all my coats on, everything. It was still cold.
Oh, but you brought a bunch of gear.
Yeah.
Good.
But
because you figured you'd be there for a while or what?
Yeah,
you
honestly, I didn't bring enough gear. But once you start moving again,
you're fine.
Which is probably the same thing with these planes. I'm sure if you just put a plane up there and just had it sit, if you could just suspend it in the air at 35,000 feet, I'm sure it's going to freeze up. It would just
freeze up. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so the friction's helping.
The movement.
The
friction.
But for us, movement's just creating internal heat.
Yeah. And similar idea with the plane, I would assume. The internal combustion of the engine running, but also the friction of the gears spinning, all of that is got to keep it
got to keep it from freezing.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Also, though, I don't know. We'd have to ask my brother.
Honestly, huh? But if you had one of those engines freeze or stall, do you think you could get it to start again? Probably not, right? You'd probably have to drop way down in elevation until it defrosted and then start it back up.
Maybe.
Anyways.
Pretty crazy.
Something I was thinking about. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but
this says that at 35,000 feet above sea level, it is negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine that.
I mean, move to Russia, Canada. They're dealing with that, I'm sure.
Did you watch the fights on Saturday, right?
Yeah, they're disappointing.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that O'Malley won that fight. I was stoked to see.
I think a lot of people were. I think even O'Malley was surprised to see him win that fight.
I don't think he felt like he should have.
No, I don't think so.
But it's a weird game because like, what was the guy's name that he fought?
Petr Yan.
Yeah, Yan. So Yan controlled the fight 100%, right? For the most part. Mm-hmm. But O'Malley had way more strikes. Well, not way more. He probably had 25 more strikes landed than the other guy.
Yeah.
But he only had one takedown attempt that was
so total strikes. Now, here's the thing is Yan actually had more landed strikes.
Okay.
He had 97 as opposed to 91. Significant strikes, though, O'Malley had 84 to 58. So
the only reason I wouldn't give it to Yan is because he couldn't capitalize on all of his takedowns.
Right.
His takedowns, I think he got 5, right?
6 takedowns.
6 takedowns. And like he couldn't capitalize on any of them.
No, he couldn't. And yeah, there's no knockdowns given. There were some good shots delivered, though.
Yeah, there were.
But no one was knocked down. Yeah, I would like to see that one back.
Same. I put money on him.
On O'Malley?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, how'd that pay out?
Won $225.
Not bad.
But I put money on it like right when it started. I was trying to put money on the knockout, which luckily that didn't play because it went the whole distance.
Here's the thing. I'd like to see that fight again. O'Malley, he wants to get in the top 10. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the updated rankings, but I think he needs to beat Yan again.
He does. They need another.
They need to redo that one.
They need another battle.
The other one that was extremely disappointing is Dillashaw and Stradman.
Dude, yeah, but Dillashaw is a dumbass, dude. And I'm sorry to say that. I know.
That's strong.
I know, but he was in training camp, right? And dislocated his arm like 15 plus times.
He should have pulled out of the fight.
Yeah, and he even apologized to the weight class for wasting the fight, essentially. Because he didn't think he would ever have another opportunity.
What did he think? That he was going to go in there and win without an arm?
Of course he didn't.
Not a chance.
It's like, what are you hoping for? A lucky knockout? Yeah. Like, you're fighting with one arm and you're fighting a really tough dude.
Yep.
It's not going to happen. And not only that, but you're also fighting a guy that now sees that your arm is out of place. Do you think he really wants to attack you? The second time his arm came out of place, he literally like looks over at the ref.
At the ref and was like, "What's going on here?" What was funny to me though, there's a lot of things that bothered me about that fight. Actually,
really.
So personally, I like Dillashaw.
I do too. We met him.
Yeah, we've had
cool dude.
Yeah, nice guy. But he should have pulled out. He shouldn't have fought.
Mm-hmm.
The morning combat podcast. You know that guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure you've seen him. I'm trying to remember his name. It's like Luke or Tom. I don't know, something like that. He had a decent bit where he said it's almost fraud for Dillashaw to fight because there's no chance he was going to win, and everyone just paid to watch this fight that was just trash.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're having all these people pay for a pay-per-view, and that one's, I mean, obviously the Islam fight was huge. But a lot of people paid to see Dillashaw come back after how many years?
Like 2. I feel like it was forever that he was gone with the Peds thing.
It really is. It's fraud.
And it was his first big fight back. I think he had fought one other time, but it was like...
And not only that, but you think the guy that he fought... Card. Obviously, the guy that he fought is like happy to like totally dominate him.
Right.
But it's like, you're not going to be happy about, I just beat a guy and his arm was out of place
But that's the thing that bothered me is Aljamain was a little bit too hyped about beating Dillashaw. Did you listen to his interview? Dude.
Yeah, I know.
It was too much.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know what what are you pumped about?
Yeah, bro. You just beat a guy that was handicapped.
And was fighting you with one arm.
He's
the entire time.
Literally fighting you with one arm.
And you still couldn't knock him out.
You couldn't knock him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, they called it. Maybe you could have knocked him out if it would have gone the whole time, but you're happy about that? It's like I can go beat up my little sister and then be the what up?
What's up?
Yeah.
The other thing too is you look at a guy. If you and I don't like each other, and we have a problem, and I see right now we're in a confrontation, and I see that your arm is out of place. First of all, I'm not going to want to fight you.
No,
because it's just like, what am I doing?
How am I going to feel a sense of accomplishment for beating a guy that doesn't even have an arm?
Second, if I have to, and you're not letting me go, I'm going to knock you out.
Yeah.
Like I'm just going to come, like because I know you have one arm. You're not going to knock me out. You might get a lucky shot. You're not going to knock me out.
Well, it's like I kept waiting for him to like whip it around or
Yeah.
something. But
Well, you could see him when he'd step away trying to get it to go back in.
it was painful to watch.
Yeah.
It was painful to watch.
It was.
And then I was also disappointed when Oliveira lost. I did not want to see Islam win.
No, but it was kind of a given that he was going.
It was a given, but
I probably would have put money on that
just
one
having
too. If
just having Khabib and that style of fighter on top. It's just not that entertaining for me.
Yeah, that style of fighter is not incredibly entertaining, but I did like how it finished. He essentially rocked him and then choked out a third-degree black belt.
Yeah.
That's wild. I'm pretty sure he's third degree.
Hopefully Oliveira comes back and they do it again.
Yeah,
but,
I'm sure they will.
I mean, who else could beat Islam, though?
Have Khabib come back.
His
own team member?
Really, though, other than that.
I don't know.
Gaethje?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
Chandler.
super familiar with all the guys in the weight class, but no. Michael Chandler's tough, but I don't think he really compares. I like him a lot.
I like him a lot, too.
And I think he's a fun fighter to watch, but I don't know.
What's
I
gonna
think
happen?
Islam's just more, I don't know. I mean, Khabib's like his main training partner, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
you're dealing with the best guy in the UFC
Yeah.
ever.
So here we go again. Khabib
Yeah.
round 2.
Hello.
Do you have a little heater in this place?
Right in there.
Okay.
Grab it.
It's cold here. It's cold here.
It's freezing cold.
Which
Yeah, I
is
don't know.
crazy.
Those fights really weren't. It was still a fun night to watch. But I actually like watching all the prelim fights more than I like watching the
A
prelims.
lot of them are good.
Yeah.
I didn't watch them this time because I was on the mountain still. But usually the prelims. And also the fight nights, the UFC fight nights that are just free on ESPN.
Yeah.
Those are pretty good.
They are good. Well, it's because you have all these guys that are trying to get a solid contract with
Yeah.
the UFC. Like, are you kidding? They're going to
Trying
fight
to get in. Also, I think there's part of it too where it's the same concept that Bella, my wife, and I have about going to a super fancy dinner and paying for $100 steak or whatever,
Yeah.
and then just going to Texas Roadhouse. I don't ever feel like I got the value for
You're-
this super fancy.
Yeah, I get
meal.
what you're saying.
Sometimes I do. Don't get me wrong. Like Ruth's Chris hits, but
But
like
I'm
I go
not
to
a big fan of Ruth's
but
Chris.
Fleming's. Like we went there the other day and it just didn't.
Is that where we all went? From
No,
when
we
were all
went
up
to
there?
Fletcher's or something
Fletcher's.
like that up
We
in
went
Park
to
City.
Fletcher's. But you guys went to Fleming's and you were just like, eh.
It was good, but for the amount of money we spent on it, I would have rather have gone to Texas Roadhouse multiple times.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And it's almost the same thing with the
I don't
pay-per-view
necessarily
and
agree,
the UFC
but-
fight nights. It's like I can watch free fights and get tons of enjoyment, or I can pay, what is it up to now?
$70.
$70. $75. And if the card just flops,
Card's kind of whatever. It's like, what do you do?
like this last card was super hyped, and this might be a controversial opinion. It was overhyped. I was disappointed. I was so excited for that card, and then it just kind of flopped.
Well, there were a lot of like kind of big fighters,
It-
notable
it
fighters. Well,
flopped.
this next one's coming up though, right?
Israel Adesanya fights again.
Adesanya's fighting, what's his name? Chico?
Right? Oh no! He's fighting Pereira.
Pereira, yeah.
What's his?
Pereira. Anyways, I think that he's always an incredibly fun fighter to watch.
Pereira. Yeah.
He's always a fun fighter to watch, though. I like Israel Adesanya. His style is so cool.
It is.
So cool.
I always kind of. It's not that I want to see people lose, but I do like to see things get mixed up. I kind of like an underdog.
Yeah. And chances are, usually, if I ever put my money somewhere, it's on the underdog.
Yeah. I don't know if Pereira has it, though. He's 6-1. Adesanya's 23-1. I don't think it's going to go his way.
Yeah, it probably won't.
No.
Unless he's just barely finding his ground.
But that's November 12th.
That could be a
So,
fun fight, though.
yeah.
When it comes back to the food thing, dude, I don't know if I agree with you.
You don't think so?
There's definitely places that you'll go and you pay a lot of money and you're like, that really wasn't worth it. It could have been way better.
I feel
For
like
sure.
that happens too often, though. Because I think there's a mid-tier where you're paying what you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah.
I think sometimes things are overpriced so where you're paying more than what you're getting.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think, are you only taking into account the taste of the food?
No, the experience as well. But what I'm trying to say, I think, is there's a difference between sometimes a $30 steak is just as good as a $50 steak.
Yeah, I agree.
Not
because
as,
the difference is
I'm not talking about a $15 steak,
Yeah.
but like a 30, like a mid-tier.
Yeah, because where's the
I'd rather go to a mid-tier than a...
Yeah. Because where are you really getting the difference in quality? The type of meat you purchased.
The butcher.
Yeah, the butcher.
Yeah.
The way that you cooked it, the time under which you cooked
Right.
it, and the environment
Yeah.
that you're in when you're eating it.
Which
So you have
environment's
kind of
cool.
these four.
But how often are people just flexing and trying to feel better about themselves because they're spending more money? And like that's the way they feel better about their meal.
You think that they feel like the meal tastes better because they're spending more money on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people out there
It's
like
the cool
that.
thing.
I'm sure there's people
Because
out
how
there.
many people are going to go to a super fancy dinner and
Yeah.
not post a picture about it?
Well, see, so a really hard part, like Mackenzie really likes steak, but what I've noticed is most of the nice places we go to get steak is there's this like waiting time. Like you pull it off the grill and you don't cut right into it. You don't plate it immediately. You cover it and you let it sit.
You let it rest.
Right? You let it rest. That time allows for a lot of heat to escape, right?
So it's not fully hot.
When it gets served to her, she can't stand food that isn't hot, which I understand that side too.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm like, yeah, like I think for a certain level of like quality, you lose other things. Like heat's a big one because to have really
And then I guess
quality
there's different
food,
tastes.
yeah, there's different tastes.
Like if she likes it hot, she probably is happier with a place that doesn't let it rest.
But it's really hard. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of steakhouses too. It's like right off the grill onto your plate and out to you.
Yeah.
I like the resting period because it keeps it from getting dry and chalky.
Yeah.
I can't stand when a steak is dry and chalky.
That's why I just am to a point where I just order it rare.
I've noticed with a lot of really nice places too, though, like restaurants try to get too fancy with all the stuff they're doing to the food when a lot of it could just be really simple. Salt, pepper.
But it
Just give me the taste of
here's
the
other
food
thing,
that's
too.
actually coming
Here's
to the
the other
plate.
thing too. If I'm going to go spend $200 on a steak dinner,
Yeah.
why don't I just go buy a couple of Wagyu steaks and
the
cook
store.
them myself?
You should.
We
It's
do
more of
that
a pain in
lot
the
of
ass,
times.
though.
I enjoy
For
it.
me, it's enjoyable. It is. But to do it every night,
No, not every night. But how often are you going to spend $200 on a steak dinner?
fair enough. But the atmosphere is the shift. Like for
Right.
me, I almost go out to eat at nice places like that for the sake of the atmosphere I'm eating in, more so than the food I'm eating.
Okay, so here's the move then. Find restaurants that have a nice atmosphere that are mid-tier.
Yeah,
That's the restaurants that,
that is.
probably are
Those are the spots
successful.
to go. That's true. Yeah, I like. For example, you know what's really really good food? Kitchen 88.
Kitchen 88 is really good food.
Yeah, place right over here in Lehigh. If you haven't been, go.
But everything that
The atmosphere,
like that
though,
group that
sucks.
owner, yeah, it could be better. Which is why I like Edna's. Edna's has a better atmosphere.
It has a better atmosphere, but I wouldn't say that the food's as good as Kitchen 88.
No, you're right.
And
They
that's where
almost
I'm
need
like,
to mix it up a little bit between the two.
Yeah, they almost need to take from both. Where
Yeah.
it's like give it a really good atmosphere
Yeah,
and have like higher and like just a higher.
which is another
level
reason
of
I
taste.
love Bonavita.
Bonavita's good, dude. I don't care what anybody says. It's a good place. Their
It is.
pastas are
The
bomb.
atmosphere's good, right?
Yep.
And it's not that expensive,
Yeah.
and
Their-
the food is really good.
It really is. Their steak sandwiches though, they use this bread that just crumbles apart.
I mean, you just get pasta.
Yeah. It's all you got to eat pasta when you're there.
Yeah,
It's heavy.
but it's good.
It's good and the vibe there is really good.
If you're in Utah and you listen, they have like Cajun. It has like the shrimp on it.
Yeah.
That pasta.
The Cajun fettuccine that
In
you
fact,
guys always
dude,
get.
I might be going there right now.
Dinner tonight. Well, that's what we were saying. We all wanted to go to dinner. I think we should still do that.
Yeah,
What's Belle doing?
taking care of the dog.
Is she?
If not tonight, maybe we go Friday.
Okay.
In fact, let's just plan on that.
Let's just plan on Friday.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was talking to Jordan and I was like, I don't know. You know me. I always have all these different business ideas, and it's all half of it's whack. But like, hey, and not only that, but it's like, how much capacity do you have to really move into another idea?
Yeah, how much bandwidth do you have?
Yeah. But I was talking to Jordan. I was like, dude, one of the most simple things to do, because I'm into simple ideas now. Like the most simple thing to do.
No more complex things.
If you really love food, have you heard of Eater?
No.
It's a website, and they do like food reviews and stuff.
Oh.
It's literally like kind of like a
paid
blog
for
page.
reviews?
I think so. But Eater is like almost like a magazine, and it's a blog with really good branding. So I was like, dude, if we love eating so much, let's just go eat it everywhere in Utah. Let's try everything and just write a quick review on each place we go to and put it on a site with good branding.
Here's the thing, okay? There are people that do that right now. There's like Utah Food Talk, all that stuff. But I'm not hating, but most of them are like mommy blogger style.
They are.
So do one for the guys.
Yeah, look up Eater.
No,
Literally
you really
Eater.
should. Naughty
but the
Kitchen should
only-
become like Utah,
Exactly, but really good branding, solid.
the Grub Guy review or something like that.
And because it's something you will enjoy and it's so simple to do, like you'll find success in it eventually.
Yeah,
Do you see their
nice.
let's
Yeah,
see
that
the
looks
red
good.
one? Yeah.
Yep.
See their branding? Clean,
Yeah.
right?
They got a bunch of cities on here.
It's essentially what we would do.
Wi-Fi
for
is
Utah
just
starting.
killing it here.
Yeah, it's dope.
Ooh, chicken and sala recipe.
But what's cool is they have a full like top 36 places in any city you can think of.
Not Salt Lake.
Boom. Even more reason to do it, y'all.
Which is
Come on.
so crazy to me because here's the thing. Like Twin Cities, Seattle. Okay, Seattle makes sense. San Diego, I guess it's bigger. Salt Lake needs a little bit more respect put on its name, dude.
It does.
Between Salt Lake and Park City, they should give us a page here.
That's what
Ooh,
I'm saying.
I see Boston already, and I already know what that picture is.
What is it? Some seafood joint?
Yes.
Okay, but do you like their website?
Yeah, it looks good.
It's drawing, right?
Except for once you click into the city, it is a little confusing. I was expecting it to be more like Yelp, and it's just
It's
a
very
bunch
news.
Of,
It's very
just
news
a bunch
station
of
magazine.
articles.
Yeah. Where I think if you add an aspect like Yelp to this style, you'd be
Yep.
hard pressed not to get any attention.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good food here in Utah. I think people just need to go out and explore.
Yeah.
Utah Valley is a little more slim, but or Salt Lake County,
Yeah. You can only eat at Chick-fil-A so many times.
which I can't stand. Food.
I love me some Chick-fil-A though.
Finally back to like pretty much fully eating.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Eating fine, shitting fine.
good.
Yep.
Did you get your infusion?
Getting my infusion on Thursday.
Good.
Thursday morning at like 9:15, I think, 9:30.
Perfect.
And then I've got an appointment with your pops, and then I leave on the 2nd. I think it's Wednesday of next week.
Yeah, Wednesday.
1 week, dude.
How long are you there?
Get out of here. 7 days.
Not bad.
I'm stoked. Literally just gonna go eat everywhere.
Be
But that's
careful.
where I got a lot of the lists of the places.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful though.
I will.
Don't overeat.
And I'll have my infusion done, and I'm not gonna I'm still gonna watch
Here's the
myself.
thing.
Trust me, I don't want to end up in the hospital.
You just kind of will just follow whatever Jordan does. So if Jordan's gonna eat like 5 entrees, you are gonna do the same.
Mackenzie says the same shit.
You do.
I need
You
to
just
watch
follow.
myself.
You just follow him.
Stop it, you,
You
asshole.
do.
Nuh-uh.
But babe, Jordan had a bottle of sake. Why can't I?
You're such a dick. Anyways,
Because it'll kill you.
I didn't really like this bubbly rose. We probably shouldn't be giving so much free advertisement. You know, we have so many followers and like attention that like
So many people hate on our podcast that there's enough attention there that Health Aid should be paying us. Here's the thing: is they just went and bought the box from Costco, so it comes with 3 flavors. It's this one, and pomegranate.
Yep, you're right.
I wasn't going to tell you, but that's the worst one.
Good to know. That's why you didn't want it.
I would
like
drink
it
it.
still.
I like it. I still like
still
that
like
one. That one's like a good 7.5.
Yeah, I think that's the best
This
one in the
one-
group of them. I like pomegranate. That's the one I usually drink because
like
it's
the
good for your gut.
And
Pomegranate
I
juice
kind
is
of like
even
the
better.
flavor of pomegranate better.
Do you?
The best one though, there's one that they sell at Harmon's. It's like a citrus. It's Live. The brand is called Live, Live.
Oh, okay. It's a different brand.
And they have a citrus one, and it is the best kombucha there is.
This one's my favorite brand, and my favorite one of these is the tropical one.
Tropical one's good.
That one's got the most flavor of any of the ones I've had.
Because this one does taste like a green apple. Has a
Do you-
little bitterness to it.
Do you think I should make these into lights? I've got 20 of them, and I pulled the sticker off of them.
If you can figure it out.
Well, I found these corks that have lights that are attached
Does it
to
fit,
them
though?
that they throw in, and then the cork just sits in the top.
Does
Yeah.
it fit?
And then you tie a rope around this, and then I could hang it from the ceiling. So like these would be hanging kind of like this almost, but with light in them. Probably not in front of your face. Oh, whoops.
We could try it. Who knows? At this point, we're just rambling.
Yeah, we are. All right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is episode 3. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and share with a friend.
Yeah, I don't think it's okay to tell people to like and subscribe anymore. So like and subscribe if you agree.
If you agree. Only if it's okay with you. But, dude, share it with a friend. We got to get this damn thing to grow, dude.
Pretty good at this point.
We have, but the short subscribers aren't feeding into the full length video subscribers as well as I would have hoped they would have. And it's because they use YouTube for shorts, which I kind of expected. I was just hoping that
Most
would
people,
promote
I
the
feel like a
channel.
lot of people just use YouTube for shorts nowadays.
They do.
It's the same with Reels and TikTok. Everything is just, you got 5 seconds to entertain me or you're gone.